All right, Cam Jam Experience. We got an NFL prediction football show here. Cam, how you doing today? Oh, that's right. Cam's not here. It's just Jimmie today. This is Jimmie's football show. Yeah, so Cam does some soccer stuff by himself, and so I'm gonna do some football stuff. Cam told me you know how to break it down, you know how to make some good predictions, so I want you to do a football show by yourself. And I said, all right, I'll give that a try. And so I'm gonna go through every team and give you my predicted schedule, not schedule, excuse me, predicted record based on their schedule. And some are easier, some are not. And so how I'm gonna do this is very simple. I'm gonna predict each divisional winner and the two wildcard teams from the AFC and the NFC. I will not go any farther than that. For example, if a quarterback gets injured week 17, I can't predict that. I'm not smart enough to predict the future. I think I am sometimes, but I have to be realistic and know I cannot predict the future here. So how this is going to work is I'm going to go through the AFC first and then the NFC, and I will determine who, in fact, will win each and the record. I'm going to break it down based on draft picks, acquisitions, all of that stuff. So this is going to be a little fun here. All right, we're going to start with the AFC East. I'm going to do the AFC first. All right, AFC East is very easy. You got the Patriots, Dolphins, Bills, and Jets. Now, those four teams are very easy to predict because it's one team who's going to do amazing, a mediocre team, and then a terrible team. That's usually how every division's going to go, with maybe one of those mediocre teams getting a little lucky. So, to start, New England Patriots. I'm going to say that the New England Patriots are going to win 12 or 13 games. I'm going to do the predictions like that. I'm going to say one number or one number. I'm not going to give you an exact. It's going to be 12 or 13. So they're going to go 12 or 4 or 13 and 3. It's very simple. They have Tom Brady, who is the best quarterback in the National Football League. He does an unbelievable job at leading the team. You could put him out there with 10 fish. Like, just pick a tuna to play, and I'm sure he could get at least one win this season from the tunas. I'm not just saying that. He's an amazing leader. So 12 or 13 wins for the Patriots when you got Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady, and Bill Belichick. No-brainer there. All right, so we're going to go to the Miami Dolphins. They just added Jay Cutler. Ryan Tannehill's out for the year. I don't expect Cutler and Tannehill to make that big of a difference. They're practically the same kind of quarterback. They could do something special, but throw a lot of interceptions. Yes, Cutler played with Gase and did a pretty good job. All right, Gase is the offensive coordinator there at Miami. So I have a feeling Miami's going to be better than what people think based on the Jay Cutler haters. But at the same time, I predict them to win 7 or 8 games. They will go 8-8 or 7-9. It's very simple. Miami is in the same division as New England. They will lose to New England twice. And they will not beat Buffalo twice because they'll lose to them by one stupid game because that's the Miami Dolphins. They don't exactly know what they're doing. But with Jay Ajayi, who is an amazing running back who broke out last year to help them go to the playoffs, they have potential. And so 7 or 8 games is what I predict the Miami Dolphins to win. Next up is the Buffalo Bills. Practically a terrible division bottom two here is the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Buffalo basically doesn't have a quarterback. You could say Tyrod Taylor's their quarterback, but he doesn't do much. He basically runs the ball every time. They have a new coach, a new offensive coordinator, and a new defensive coordinator from the start of last season. I don't expect them to be anything more than, let's see what happens, throw some stuff there, roll the dice, see what goes on. Nada. They have new schemes. They have a schedule where they have to play the NFC South and the AFC West. Yeah, going up against Denver's defense and Kansas City's defense and Oakland's offense, I don't expect you to win any of those 3 games I just said. Buffalo will win 4 to 5 games this season. No question about it. Terrible team. Next, we go to the worst team in the National Football League, and that is the New York Jets. I don't know what to say about them. I really don't. The Jets don't have a quarterback worth of anything to play this year. So they're just going to kind of just wing it and throw things. They have a coach who's practically probably the saddest he'll ever be. He lost Brandon Marshall this year to go play somewhere else, so he has no receivers, no quarterback, bottom line running backs, defense that really can't do much. They're going to be in the bottom 5 of everything this year. Probably in the bottom 5 of effort, too, because I don't like what I see of New York at all. The New York Jets will win 1 or 2 games. I'm not going to say they're going to win 0 because that's mean. They'll squeak in there, win a game, do something, that's it. So the AFC East is done, and the New England Patriots will win the AFC East. No surprise there. Now I'll actually get to my job a little bit and break down the AFC North. Fun division here because I don't think any team will win more than 11 games, and I don't think any team will lose less than 5 or lose more than 5. Win less than 5. That's how I want to say that. The wins will be between 5 and 11 with the AFC North. I'll go to the Steelers. Steelers, simple. 11 or 10 wins. 10 and 6 or 11 and 5. They got Big Ben. They got Antonio Brown. They got Le'Veon Bell. Amazing offensive explosion. But unfortunately, their defense has gone worse the past couple years. And so I don't think they're going to be able to win every game in this division. The Bengals will get them at a time. The Ravens will get them at a time. It's going to be something like that. So I believe that Big Ben and the AFC North Steelers will do something good. But at the same time, nothing more than 10 and 6, 11 and 5. They will do good because of that home field advantage in Pittsburgh. It gets snowy in November and December, and not great quarterbacks can play in all weather conditions. That's where Big Ben comes in. So I believe Pittsburgh will be 11 and 5, 10 and 6. All right, next we go to the Baltimore Ravens. I have them, unfortunately, at 7 and 9 or 8 and 8. Now they have a great coach. They've missed the postseason 3 out of the last 4 years, and I don't expect them to beat the Steelers because they don't match up with them. So that's 2 losses right there. They will be good, but unfortunately, I don't see them being anything more than an 8 and 8 team. Flacco's a good quarterback. They have some quality assets to where they could be a decent team when it comes to running backs, wide receivers, all that jazz. But when you look at their defense, they're getting older. They have good leadership, but their defense gets older with age very quickly. And I think when you realize that Baltimore is not the same team as when they had Ray Lewis, it's going to be an issue. It really will. So I don't expect Baltimore to be anything more than an 8 and 8 team. Next, the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot of people are down on Cincinnati, but unfortunately, maybe I just have this weird hunch here. For 2 or 3 of these teams, I have a hunch. And I'll mention that it's probably crazy to think this way about them, but I really think they got something going on here. Cincinnati will be a 8 and 8 or 9 and 7 team. Now, a lot of predictions have them not winning more than 6 or 7 games, but keep in mind here, Andy Dalton is a good quarterback. Not a great quarterback, a good quarterback. He has ways to do things throwing in that pocket that is unreal. Granted, that offensive line is not perfect by any means, but at the end of the day, he will be able to be at least a 3,500-yard passer. I mean, that's a given. And look at Cincinnati's defense. They have some really good defensive weapons. Adam Jones, Barrett, Brissett. Those are guys who can make the defense very easy. And I have a feeling they'll beat Baltimore in some games this year. And I have a feeling they have the idea of doing weird stuff in the North. What I mean by that is there's some teams who can do things that you don't expect, and that's the Bengals. For example, Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill. Those could be 2 running backs, and Joe Mixon. They did draft Joe Mixon, who could all run at least 700 yards. And the weird thing in the NFL now is power I running. You start that, and they start winning games. That's a very weird thing that could work out for the Cincinnati Bengals. I have them going 8 and 8, 9 and 7, and they could have the potential to be a wild card team. Now, I say that because they have a lot of potential. I find them being better than Baltimore this year. A lot of people find that crazy, but we'll see going down the line. I mean, look at it. Andy Dalton can throw to A.J. Green, Tyler Effort, Jeremy Hill, Giovanni Bernard, and Joe Mixon. That's all fast guys who will not be tackled in the open field more than 50% of the time. So, going on to the last team in the AFC North is the Cleveland Browns. I have them going 5 and 11 or 6 and 10. That's very high for a Cleveland Browns team, but unfortunately, I hate to do this. They got a quarterback who I really like. I really like the quarterback they have. No, I'm not talking about... See, I'm not talking about that Houston Texans interception machine, makes too much money, doesn't know what he's doing, can't tell you what up and down is, can't tell you where anybody is going, can't throw the ball to anyone right, could not hit the broadside of a barn with a toothpick. I'm talking about Brock Osweiler, who is probably one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play the game. Needless to say, I'm talking about DeShone Kizer. DeShone Kizer's got that arm. that arm could do something big this year. I mean, DeShone Kizer could throw a lot of touchdowns to some wide receivers who aren't exactly that good. Corey Coleman could be one of those receivers. I mean, DeShone Kizer has limited weapons. Isaiah Crowell. And you know what? Jabril Peppers, you don't really know where to put him. He could play some defense. He could play some receiver. They also got Kenny Britt on the team. Cleveland has some really good weapons. But, more importantly, their defense is improving. Myles Garrett will definitely help on the defensive line. Am I saying they're going to go to the playoffs? Absolutely not. But I'm saying Cleveland could be a 6-10 team, and people could look at them and go, 5 or 6 more weapons, playoff team. And so that's what I look at the AFC North to look at with the Pittsburgh Steelers winning that division. Next, we go to the AFC West. Now, this is a very odd division to look at because everybody's going to freak out about Oakland. Everybody. I mean, everybody and your mother is going to say, "Oh, have you seen what the Oakland Raiders can do with Derek Carr? I mean, he could be the biggest quarterback." It's not that big of a deal. All right, in my opinion. Yes, they got Marshawn Lynch. Yes, they got Derek Carr. Yes, the Oakland Raiders can be a great team. But that is not my pick to win this division. Now, yes, I could be talking craziness. I could just be a young, naive fella who doesn't exactly know what he's talking about. But I believe that the winner of the AFC West, no question about it, will be the Los Angeles Chargers. Yes, that's correct. Nobody's in the room with me right now, but I heard a gasp behind me. Maybe I'm just hearing voices. But the Los Angeles Chargers will win the AFC West with an 11-5, 10-6 record. Easy here. All right, you got Phillip Rivers, who's one of the best quarterbacks ever. I honestly think he will end up being one of the best quarterbacks. And this just must be one of my stupid hunches. But going to L.A., it could be a challenge. So they could not do what has to be done. But I think there's a lot of hype about Oakland, and there's a lot of hype about Kansas City that won't work out. Okay, so I think the Los Angeles Chargers will be up there. You got Phillip Rivers, and you got Melvin Gordon. I think Melvin Gordon's going to be a great running back, and they have added to the defense, which will help. So the Chargers, 10-6 or 11-5, they will win the AFC West. Going back to Oakland, they will be 9-7 or 10-6. Of course, I love what Oakland can do. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. They have an amazing team. But Marshawn Lynch will not lead the league in rushing. He will not lead the league in rushing touchdowns. He will not do what he could have done in Seattle. He will be right around 850, 900 yards. I don't even think he's going to run 1,000 yards. The man took a year off. He will not be as great as people expect. And when it comes down to it, he missed some time, some quality time. Yes, they got Derek Carr. I like what the Raiders have on offense, but then you look at him at defense. And when you step aside with Khalil Mack, get Khalil Mack out of that defense. They're a 16, 17, 15 ranked defense. They're just average. They will lose some games that they're supposed to win this year. The Raiders do not have an easy schedule. If you look at who the Raiders have to play and when they have to play them, they do not have practically, I'd say, top 5 of the hardest schedules in my mind. I mean, let me start out with their first couple weeks even, all right? Tennessee, New York, Washington, Denver. There you go. Easy. Should be able to win all of them. Maybe the Tennessee game will be hard. Then Baltimore, Chargers, Chiefs, Bills. Those are 3 hard games, and then the Bills come up. Not easy. And then later, they got to play the Patriots and then divisional Broncos in the same week. That's not going to be easy. Patriots, then Broncos? No, sir. That will not be easy. I don't think Oakland will win this division. I think they will be a 9-7, 10-6 team. They have potential, and I think Marshawn will do a couple cool ESPN top 10 na things, but at the end of the day, they are a wild card team. Oakland will be my 5th seed, first wild card team, but the Chargers will win the division this year. Yeah, I know it's crazy, but that's my pick. Next, we're going to Kansas City, 7-9, 8-8. Look, they got an amazing defense. They got Andy Reid. I really think that they could do something special. Only, look at their schedule. Patriots, Texans, Cowboys, Giants. I don't see them beating any of those teams. All right? Yeah, Alex Smith is he's like the safe boyfriend for the girls. He could really just protect her and make her feel like a content woman most of the time. But he's not going to blow her mind much. He's not going to, buy her flowers when she doesn't expect it. He's not going to take her to a really nice dinner. There's going to be a lot of White Castle dates when you go out with Alex Smith. So I think at the end of the day, Alex Smith is just a regular quarterback. He will not do anything special. And I think Kansas City needs to look at starting to get another quarterback and another offensive scheme. When your number one receiver is a tight end who had his own reality show, you need to look at some things. I mean, yeah, he's a good tight end. But at the end of the day, it's not exactly what you want. I'm going to tell you the greatest wide receivers they have on their team. Travis Kelce, a bunch of people you've probably never heard of. Yeah, Tyreek Hill is good special teams-wise and good special-wise, but he's not a tight end. He's not a wide receiver. You can't use him in the offense as much as some of these other guys that they have. All right? I don't think Kansas City will be anything more than a 7-9 team, probably end under 500. I don't see any playoffs for Kansas City this year. Next, we go to Denver. 5-11, 6-10. I am not impressed with Denver whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. They have a quarterback problem that has become bigger than it needs to be, and I think in years to come, Denver players will start leaving. They have no reason to be there whatsoever. Denver used to have this really amazing quarterback. His name was Peyton Manning, but Peyton retired, and now it's either Paxson Lynch or Trevor Siemian. I don't like those choices. I really don't. Quality defense with big-time expectations this year. I mean, I'm gonna say their schedule real quick for the first couple weeks, and it's a scary road ahead of them. It really is. You got the Chargers, Cowboys, Bills, Raiders, Giants. You're going to be lucky to win 2 games out of your first 5. When you start the season 2-3, and then bam, right to LA to play the Chargers, who I think will win the division, who I think Phillip Rivers will throw maybe 300 yards against you in both games. I don't see anything going good for Denver this year. 5-11. Denver will not do much. All right, Los Angeles Chargers will win this division. Wild card from the AFC West, Oakland Raiders. I know it's crazy. But the wild card teams will be the Oakland Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, it's insane. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati will be the 2 teams from the AFC North to go to the playoffs. 2 teams from the AFC West will be the Raiders and the Chargers. Of course, New England will get there. Then we'll go to the most fun division to ever talk about, and that's the AFC South. Terrible division. Unbelievable. And, I mean, you look at it, and I don't expect any of these teams to win more than 9 games. No more than 9. I expect the winner of this division to be the Tennessee Titans at 9-7, and then the Houston Texans will be 8-8. The Indianapolis Colts will be 7-9, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars will be 6-10. They'll all be bunched up together because they all got weird quirks. The only reason I see Tennessee making it is Marcus Mariota is going to turn into a Pro Bowl quarterback this year. That's right, 3,500 to 4,000 yards. He's going to do some magical things. He's got some receivers that I like. He's got a running back that I like. I mean, Tennessee is this team that has potential, and no joke, to make it to the divisional playoffs with a couple key injuries. I mean, practically easy schedule when it starts out. Raiders, Jags, Seahawks, Texans. You could go 2-2, and you already have the Seahawks and Raiders behind you. Then Miami, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Ravens. Bam, 6-2. I mean, just Marcus Mariota, DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry. What easy run game. So Mariota can use the play-action pass and probably be the best in the league this year at the play-action pass. Tennessee Titans wins the division with 9-7. The rest of the South, I'd start getting your stuff together if you really, really want to ask me. Andrew Luck, I'm sorry, I don't see much from him anymore. I really don't. I see Luck becoming this guy who could have been something kind of like RG3 in the next couple of years. And for the Texans, yeah, Deshaun Watson, a lot of people think he looked cool. Did you see how many receivers he overthrew in that first game? He overthrew a bunch. And yes, I know it's preseason, so you can't say anything too great. But you can still overthrow a receiver in pickup ball in the backyard, preseason, postseason, college, high school, peewee. You can overthrow receivers. And it just looks like he didn't know what was going on. I don't see the Texans doing anything much. And then Jacksonville, well, your Jaguars. Can't say much there. Then to the NFC. I think the NFC is going to be a lot more fun to watch than the AFC. I already said who's going to be in the playoffs for the AFC, and practically it's just a stepping stone for the Patriots to just make it. Very simple conference for the Patriots. NFC, here we go. NFC East. I believe the Dallas Cowboys, even though Elliott is suspended for 6 games, win this division 11-5, 10-6. Yeah, I know everybody's freaking out. Oh, Elliott's gone for 6 games. What are we going to do? Well, you got Dak Prescott, the best offensive line in football, an amazing defense, and a coach who has really become one of the best coaches. If you told me Jason Garrett was going to be a top 5 coach in this NFL league, I thought you were crazy. But he has done things that I never thought would happen. He has trained people to be very good. Yes, I don't like Des Bryant as a person, but I think he's an unbelievable receiver. I mean, come on. Look at their schedule. They got some teams that don't even are barely even going to be anything against them. They get to play the 49ers. They get to play the Rams. They get to play the Cardinals. These are all easy wins for them. And I think they'll beat Philadelphia twice, and I think they'll beat Washington twice. Cowboys will win 11-5, 10-6, no problems. Second, and the wild card will be the Philadelphia Eagles. I know that's insane. It's completely insane. But Carson Wentz is going to be an unbelievable quarterback in this league. I think he can do many amazing things. I think they're going to end up 8-8 or 9-7, and that's going to be good enough to be the last wild card team. When you have Alshon Jeffrey, that's a big body receiver. You can just go up, throw it to Jeffrey. That's a lot of points right there. You also got Darren Sproles. You also got Ryan Matthews. I mean, their offense is just full of great players. Torrey Smith. You have weapons where you could make this team unbelievable. Just the defense worries me. You got an older secondary, and I believe Dak can throw on you. Kirk Cousins can throw on you, and Eli Manning can throw on you. You got some teams who are really going to just pummel you at times. It's going to be a hard division here for the NFC East, but I think it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles. They will be in the playoffs. Eagles go 9-7 or 8-8. Cowboys go 11-5 or 10-6. Then we go with the other two teams. Washington, I believe, will be a 4-12, 5-11 team. I think they're going to really fail this year. I think Kirk Cousins is not going to live up to the expectations that he's supposed to be. I really do. I don't see Kirk being anything more than just average this year. And then for the Giants, 8-8. Pretty simple. Yeah, they got some cool assets, but at the same time, those assets only show up every other Sunday, if you really look at it. So the Giants will be an 8-8, 7-9 team. All right, let's move to the North. And I know people are going to say, oh, the Lions kid's picking the Lions to win the division just because of that. No, I'm not. I'm picking the Lions to win the division because they're going to be a 10-6, 11-5 team based on their assets and how well they've improved this past season. And more importantly, the Packers are going down. They are. They gave a lot of good people up. The Lions, yeah, they don't got Calvin anymore. Big deal. So sorry. But the Cardinals, Giants, Falcons, and Vikings, that's how they start their season. If they go 2-2 there, they got some easy games ahead of them. They get to play Cleveland. They get to play the Browns twice. I think they can beat the Vikings twice. I mean, the Lions have improved so much on their offensive line. They are going to have a top 10 offensive line this year. And Ziggy Ansah, you can tell by the way he's practicing. You can tell by his quotes. He will not have a season like last year. Yes, we lost Kerry Hyder, Detroit fans, but we're winning this division this year because Green Bay has fallen. I mean, Green Bay gave up a lot of good people, and without Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers would just be a team. I mean, 5 or 6 wins at most. That's it. I mean, the Green Bay Packers, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, okay? Look, Jordy Nelson's getting old. Randall Cobb, he seemed non-existent in the past couple years. And Devontae Adams, he's dropped so many balls in clutch moments that it is so ridiculous just to watch him drop balls. Green Bay will be an 8-8, 9-7 team. They'll get the wild card. I guarantee they'll get the wild card at 9-7, maybe 10-6. But I believe the Lions will win this division at 11-5. They'll beat Green Bay at least one game, probably the game at home. Look, this sounds crazy, but this North team is not going to be as good as people say. The Vikings are going to be 7-9, 8-8. Yeah, they got this amazing defense, but who in the world is going to play quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings? Your choices are not very high. Probably terrible. Minnesota Vikings, Sam Bradford, Teddy Bridgewater. One guy who's missed a whole year, one guy who threw an interceptions a whole year. That's hard. It's really hard. They have some amazing assets. I mean, who wouldn't want Stephon Diggs, Michael Floyd, and Latavius Murray on their offense? I mean, that's a fantasy offense right there. But I don't expect them to be anything more than 7-9, 8-8, and then the Chicago Bears, 4-12, 5-5. That's how the North will end. Lions will win the division. Green Bay will get the wild card. So I got my 2 wild card teams in for the NFC. It's pretty simple here. We're going to go to some easier ones to look at, all right? Let's go to the West, where you got Seattle, who's just going to look good as Seattle. I mean, they got nothing else to do. I mean, Russell Wilson. He's a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers and like Tom Brady. You take Russell Wilson out of Seattle, they're lucky to win 4 or 5 games. Seattle's going to be 10-6, 11-5, no problems winning the division. The LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers, 4 or 5 wins, 2 and 3 wins for the 49ers. I don't see them doing anything, just looking like they could do odd enough things, win a couple games here. It's going to be very sad to watch them. All right, as for the Arizona Cardinals, they're going to miss the wild card. They're going to be the first team out at 9-7 or 8-8. Carson's going to look good. Larry Fitzgerald is going to look good, but at the same time, they're not going to win the games that they're supposed to win. That's an Arizona Cardinal thing to do, is lose games that you're supposed to win. And when that comes down to it, you're going to look at them, and they're probably going to be 4-6 or 5-6, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, we got to win a bunch of these games. And they'll win games late, but they will not make the playoffs. And now the NFC South. My craziest prediction yet. Unbelievably a dumb prediction. Carolina will go 6-10. New Orleans Saints will go 6-10 or 7-9, and the Atlanta Falcons will go 8-8. I think they're going to flop based on this Super Bowl loss. I think that they're going to look at themselves and just go, wow, we did a terrible job, and they're not going to be able to do things on defense that they're supposed to do. Great offense, terrible defense. The winner, no question about it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 9-7, 10-6. Look, I am a huge Jameis Winston NFL fan. They're going to make a playoff appearance, and they're going to be a great team this year. I mean, who does not like Tampa Bay this year after you got to play in the New Orleans Saints offense? Yeah, Adrian Peterson's really going to do a lot. He has not done a lot in so long, it is so ridiculous. Tampa Bay has a great quarterback with Jameis Winston. They got Mike Evans, Doug Martin, Deshaun Watson. Unbelievable players on offense. And then their defense is getting better. And when your defense improves and you already have a good offense, you're going to win at least 9 games this year. I think they'll win the division at 10-6. Those are my picks. Sticking to them. Division winners will be Tampa Bay, Detroit, Dallas, Seattle on the NFC side. And then on the AFC side is got the Chargers, Titans, Steelers, New England Patriots. Counting down to week 1, we'll talk a little bit more football. I'll really start breaking down with the games. I'll get right into it, talk a little fantasy. But that's what I got for my predictions. This is James A. Paxson on the NFL Prediction Show, Cam Jam Experience. Check our YouTube channel out. We got a bunch of shows coming up. We got a game show coming up. Cam Jam Experience signing out.